Right now we're in Portland, Oregon, but we're gonna head north to a quieter suburb of Vancouver, Washington. Today's video is all about stuff they don't tell you before moving to Vancouver, Washington. Stay to the end because this is gonna be the unfiltered truth about what it's like. All right, let's get going. Whoa. That was a rough landing, but we're here in beautiful Vancouver, Washington now. And who am I? I'm Tim Jackson. I'm a real estate agent. I've got a YouTube channel here, but I've also got tons of 5-star Google reviews right here. I serve people all over Portland and Vancouver. I've lived in Milwaukee, I've lived in Portland, and I've lived in Vancouver. So I'm the only agent that knows what it's like to live on both sides of the river. Let's get going on point number 1 of 10 about what people don't tell you before moving to Vancouver, Washington. Let's go. All right, the first thing that they don't tell you about living in Vancouver is that bridge traffic and commuting chaos. So yeah, they are totally going to be expanding that bridge, maybe even putting tolls on it. But the truth you need to know about living in Vancouver, Washington is that if you're working down in Oregon, you're taxing yourself twice. Not only are you taxing yourself for that long commute where both the I-5 and 205 bridge get completely piled up, but you're also going to be paying state income tax as well. And I can say this as somebody that has lived, worked, and played in both Vancouver, Portland, and its suburbs. There's a way better tax advantage and a way better quality of life if you opt for a quiet suburb like Clackamas or Washington County, if Portland and Multnomah County aren't your cup of tea. Vancouver is a great spot for people that work in Vancouver or work from home. That's really what makes people love Vancouver, is that they work in it too. That's just to say that if you're thinking of working in Vancouver, there is plenty of work to be had with all of this prime development happening from both the commercial and the residential front. I've had clients move from places like Arizona and California, getting great jobs in the medical or tech fields here on the Vancouver side. And the data shows that people are flocking to Vancouver, Washington. In a recent report, we had 22,000 people moving up here in the last fiscal year. That's just to say that if you are thinking about moving up here, make sure you're working up here too. There's so many people already coming across that bridge that it really doesn't help to add to it. Honestly, Vancouver's infrastructure is fine if you're just commuting and living within the city. You can expect a commute time of anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes if you're planning out where you live to where you work. And that gets us to point number 2, and we've kind of already touched on it, but it is the taxes. A huge reason people are moving here to Vancouver is the taxes. Now, a lot of people move here because of the no state income tax, but there's kind of a misconception that the property taxes are also a whole lot better. Let me actually break it down by the numbers and show you the effective property tax rate of each county. So we're going to start with the highest, which is Multnomah County, and that is an effective tax rate of 0.99%, which means that if you have a $500,000 home, you're going to be paying on average about $5,000 a year in property taxes. Now jump into Washington County, home of Intel, Nike. That is 0.93%, so closer to $4,600. But right behind it is both Clackamas and Clark County, falling in at 0.92%. So they're like basically the same. And actually where I'm at right now, the city of Vancouver, is 0.93%. So it actually jumps up there with Washington County. So yeah, property taxes, a $400 a year difference between high and low, and obviously you can double that to $800 if you're shopping in the $1 million range. Now, between state income tax and sales tax, it honestly kind of breaks even depending on your tax bracket. And I was actually just talking to my financial planner 2 days ago, and he was telling me that Washington just passed one of the most aggressive estate taxes in the nation. So it's definitely something to consider when landing in Vancouver, talking with a financial planner and talking with me as your real estate agent, both in the same basket. So this is kind of interesting because we're on our 3rd point, which is weather. We're here on a hot day. You know, I'm dipping my feet into this awesome little splash pad. But weather in Portland, Oregon and Vancouver, Washington is typically pretty cold. So I just had a client from California who I was driving around showing her home. She actually just got keys yesterday. And as we were driving around, I had the AC on. She kept telling me, man, it is so cold in your car. So I was having to kind of bump the heat up or, you know, not blast the AC as much because she's just so used to warmer weather. We're here on like an 80-degree day here in downtown Vancouver. And I can tell you this is a pretty warm day for somebody that lives in the Northwest. And I noticed that a lot of clients moving from California, Arizona, and places like that tend to think of the Vancouver area as a lot colder. And this little splash pad is actually pretty cool because it shows you all the tributaries that feed into the Columbia and give us the astounding amount of water and greenery that we see in the Northwest. So yeah, we are a little bit colder or more temperate of a climate, but what comes with it is the amazing nature and greenery that you see. So yeah, bring an extra layer, dress in layers, maybe go out and get yourself a nice winter coat, especially if you're coming here between the months of September and about April. You should expect temperatures to sometimes get near or even below freezing in our coldest months. All right, we're gonna go up there to talk about reason number 4. Let's go. Oh, we are taking a break here in the shade at a tap house right on the waterfront. We're going to get into reason number 4, and that is just the vibe and the lifestyle of Vancouver, Washington. Now, historically, Vancouver, Washington has been a bedroom community to Portland, Oregon, just across the river here, but that is no longer. Vancouver, for the most part, has everything that you need right here. And when we lived in Vancouver for quite a few years, we rarely ever commuted down over the bridge to do things. I mean, you've got an amazing downtown Vancouver library. There's an awesome gym, the YMCA, where they've got even free childcare for your monthly memberships, which you can't find that in Portland. Cheers, man. Cheers. The food is great too. Sure, the nightlife might be a little bit more subdued in Vancouver, but quite frankly, if you want to go over to Portland for some, you know, more grungy brew pubs, or to really get the artsy grungy feel of Portland, but you only want it in small doses, why not hop over the bridge after the traffic subsided, and you can get your little dose of Portland when you need it. Now, you're going to want to stay around for stuff they're not telling you before moving to Vancouver. Reason number 5, because we're heading over to a brand new community in Camas, Washington. But first, Serenity and I are going to finish our lemonade, beer, and onion rings. Hey, so we're talking about reason number 5. We're heading to a new construction community now. And so we're talking about housing and affordability, the stuff that they're not really talking about here. We're going to tell you that Vancouver has become a lot more spendy in recent years. Now, we were just talking in reason number 3 about how my California client moved over and there was a massive temperature difference. When you move up here, there's also a massive price difference. So this client, she literally cried when she received the keys to her home. She'd been looking in California for a decade and had been completely priced out. And she was just able to get keys to a brand new construction home up here. So that's really what's got me passionate about helping folks who are relocating out of state. If you're thinking of visiting up here, there's actually Indigo Hotel right here and AC Hotel right across the way here. These are 2 hotels I highly suggest if you're planning a visit up here. Now, if you're looking at more of a short to medium term basis, like beyond just hotel living, I would definitely suggest going month to month on an Airbnb. And finally, if you're looking to purchase a home in the Portland or Vancouver area, then reach down right here. I'm happy to take a phone call, a text message, a Zoom call, however you like to communicate. I'm here to talk about the A to Z of getting over here and doing a complete relocation for you. Now we're going to go into some new construction in Vancouver and continue to talk about the affordability and housing in the Vancouver area. Let's get going. All right, so we're here at the Nines at Camas Meadows. So the Camas Golf Club is just right there. Camas has been moving. I mean, you've been seeing these lands. divide off. And so this is the Pacific Lifestyle Homes, which are honestly a B+ builder. They're like maybe right under polish, and even then they're building these awesome custom builds that really make them at the top range. Now, we are on reason number 5, which is housing affordability. Housing is not affordable really anywhere in the nation, and you do tend to pay a premium to be on the West Coast. The good news is that Portland and Vancouver historically are cheaper than their major West Coast cities, and Vancouver has historically been cheaper than Portland itself. Now that dynamic is changing as awesome suburbs like this grow, and people are starting to see some massive value. Let's go in and take a tour of this awesome model home, and then we're gonna walk around this community and tell you a little bit more about what it's like to live in Camas and just the stuff they're not telling you. Let's go. So I told you that this video is gonna be unfiltered, and this community is so new that I actually haven't even walked through this home yet. So you're gonna see my unfiltered thoughts about this home as well. And this community has been built for so long. It was like 6 years ago that I was working with Heather DeFore just down there. She's got some lots and beautiful homes for sale just down that way. So there's tons of new construction options available here. Let's go take a peek at this house. And we're gonna keep talking a little bit about housing prices in Vancouver as they relate to Vancouver. Wow. Look at the touches. You see that? That is awesome. So we're immediately this is one thing that a lot of people are looking for when they're looking for a home, is they want that immediate entry-level access. So this could work as an office, a guest bedroom, you name it. Awesome little golf art. Beautiful staging done here. Really liking it. These little main level bedrooms are huge. We're gonna walk into before we get to the main feature here. A lot of these are single level homes, and you're gonna see some cool designs down the road here. Nice little, not just shower, not just walk-in shower. Warning, jump scare. Are we gonna do it? We're gonna do it. This is the Christopher walk-in shower. Awesome quartz counters. Let's keep going. All right, now this is the main feast y'all have been looking for. Look at the vault on this ceiling. And look up there. That is amazing. All right. Huge. That can be customized. Nice little tile fireplace. We're gonna swing this way to this awesome black granite countertop here. Look, gas range. Nice intricate features to make this feel like not just like new construction, modern new construction with a nice architectural flair to it. Makes you feel like you've really got that modern living. Come through this dining room and check out what they've done with the backyard here. Look at that. Leave a comment down below if you'd be using that course, or if your dog would. That's a nice little putting range there. And before we go upstairs and show you the additional bedrooms, check out this patio. Now we're actually, earlier is 80 degrees. We've already hit, just listen to the radio, 92 degrees in Camas here. Oh, look at that view. Amazing homes here. Now these homes are in the $1 million range. There's a few that are just under $1 million, but you're gonna have to pay the premium price to live in a place like Camas, Washington. All right, now we're going upstairs on this gorgeous brand new construction 2025. Wait until you see this backsplash that I'm seeing. Again, this is my raw, completely unedited reaction to what we're seeing. Let's pop into this guest bedroom first. Nice little portrait here, London. Hey, if you guys are veteran subscribers, you'll know that I was born about 20 minutes from that scene right there, Big Ben. I was actually born in Middlesex Hospital in London, other side of the world. Got nice little British staging flares in here. Hey, just really quickly, let's just pop in and you're gonna show that little double sink. All right, we're gonna pop back out here and let's check a peek at this main bedroom. Look at that nice accented wall with 2 windows to really pull in light. The Pacific Northwest can get kind of dreary. So all these lights, including the ones through this awesome main bedroom entry, you just want to come over here and check out that awesome view into the mountain right there. Isn't that an amazing view? So you're pulling in light and you're pulling in views. It's pretty amazing. So we're gonna go into the main bathroom now with this little farm door. Continue to pull through. Dual sinks. We got the main closet here. It's fit for a wedding. Now, you got a soaking tub. And I'm not gonna tease you guys again. You guys know what that is. And let's continue to pull through over this nice sweeping view. We're gonna tour this community now, and we're gonna get into the sixth thing that people are not telling you, the stuff that nobody says when you're thinking about relocating to Vancouver, Washington. Okay, reason number 6, the stuff they're not telling you before moving to Vancouver, Washington. Look guys, I don't want you to regret your move up here. I want you to have a nice, tidy relocation from A to Z. So that's why I'm giving you this content. Definitely subscribe if you're finding this helpful so far. So I'm just gonna show you some blunt truth right now that people aren't telling you, is that we just had a little rare July rainstorm, and all that rain just ends up, like, look at this, come in close. Check this out. All this rain just ends up putting dust on the vehicle. Look, I wash my car regularly. I've got, I even asked my daughter, honest person, I got one of those little cards that I can go to the car wash anytime. I live right next to one, like a few minutes away. I also have an amazing auto detailer. The fact of the matter is though, you get a July rainstorm in the middle of all our dry season, kicks up dust. Rain really does a number on not just vehicles, but houses as well. Like a roof in the Pacific Northwest, a 30-year roof, sometimes they're only lasting 25 years. Now we're gonna walk down this road here and show you the different options in this community. And as we do, I'm just gonna highlight that the trees over there, trees are another thing that can create some deterioration on the roof. You really wanna make sure that your home is a decent distance from a tree, or if it's close to a tree, obviously it provides shade, but you really wanna make sure that your roof is getting regularly cleaned, regularly maintained. You really don't want the Pacific Northwest weather of just that rain battering it 6 or 7 months out of the year. You don't want it to affect the longevity of your home. Now, there's townhomes over here that are in the 650s to 800,000. The homes on this end are gonna be like really awesome looking single level ranches, like starting at like 1.1, 1.2 million. There's one home plan, like a single family residence with a backyard, that's in the mid 800s. So they're kind of range all the way from like kind of the mid 6s all the way past 1.3 in this community. We're gonna walk over and show you some of the really cool designs going on. Since we just got done with reason number 5, which is homes and affordability, you know, homes are sitting around 30 days if they're priced well, but some homes that aren't priced right, you can see them sit for 40, 50, 60, up to 90 days, and people are getting really good deals when that home is slightly overpriced. Buyers can come in and beat them up. Now check out this awesome modern architecture that's happening on this home. It's another home being constructed over there. Like I said in reason number 6, you're really gonna wanna stay on top of that unexpected maintenance that comes with the rain. Watch your house, watch your car, make sure you're keeping on top of it, your siding, your windows, all that good stuff. Reach down below if you're looking for a home like that in Camas or really anywhere all over the Portland metro area. I'm here to help you find homes just like that. Now let's get into the 7th thing that people just aren't telling you when it comes to moving out to Vancouver, Washington. The 7th one is huge and one that people kind of get taken by surprise, and it's that we're actually on a live Cascadia subduction fault zone. Now this is more important if you're looking at like buying on the coast or near waterfront, because as soon as that subduction zone slips underneath, it's gonna cause a catastrophic tsunami. Now, like obviously everywhere is gonna have its faults. So you can find tornadoes, rattlesnakes, you name it. There's always a reason not to move somewhere. The subduction zone really is something where you wanna just have a plan, an emergency kit. Make sure you're aware. If you're buying an older home, check in to see if it's been bolted to its foundation. All new construction should stand up to that event, unless you're buying like, I'm not gonna say the builders. Reach out for a phone conversation if you really wanna know the builders that I would maybe take a second peek at with a proper inspection. And another thing to know about not just the earthquakes, but we do get wildfires you know, very similar to like California, Colorado. And that wildfire smoke coming in actually makes new construction. This is a fact that not a lot of people know. New construction are putting whole home fan ventilation systems in order to make your home breathable when there's large wildfire events. Now, I can remember 2020 was just a complete smoked out. I was working with the National Guard at the time. I'd served in the Oregon National Guard for 13 years. I literally went to the front lines of these wildfires where schools, communities got completely burnt. I was face to face with the governor and just seeing the actual real life devastation and real life cost of these wildfires. Now, obviously, this has increased home insurance. It's made things a lot less affordable. You also just want to be aware when you're purchasing a home if you're near like a forest fire zone. And I'm going to throw in flood zones to that. Make sure you're looking at the forest fire patterns from an insurance perspective and the flood zones, you know, and then when that smoke comes in, you just really want to make sure that your house has a system in place, whether that's a super beefy filter on your HVAC system or a whole home van. It's really important to make sure you're aware of the natural disasters that can strike our area. Oh man, look at that awesome mountain view. We're going over the 205 bridge, which is, we're kind of back to the start of the video, which was talking about commuting. But we're going to get into a different reason that I'm going to tell you, not a lot of real estate agents, nobody's really talking about it because it's kind of an awkward conversation, but the conversation is Vancouver politics. Now look, Portland is obviously a completely like total progressive city, like progressive values through and through. Like 81% of people in most neighborhoods in Portland voted on the left in the 2020 and 2024 elections. Now, Vancouver is a little bit more purple. I mean, in the Vancouver city itself, it's kind of similar to Portland, but the further and further you get out in Clark County, especially Clark County unincorporated, you're going to see a whole mix of different bumper stickers. You're going to see rallies with opposing sides on each side of the sidewalk. You know, you're going to see a ton of different opinions. I was showing a buyer homes in Vancouver who had lived in Portland his entire life. And he was just telling me, he's like, Tim, I go to the campground and I no longer feel heard by like the extreme left politics. And so I decided to move to Vancouver where there's a lot more of a mixed crowd and a lot more nuance in the conversations. It's like, Tim, I go to campgrounds and I feel like I can have conversations with people on both sides of the aisle. And so for him, Vancouver felt a lot better of a thing, like people. And then we were like out showing homes and we were talking to neighbors. There's literally one, I kid you not, one of the neighbors, Trump signs and all of that in his front yard. The other neighbor was like a complete hippie from Alaska, like totally like lived off the earth. But they got along, like even though they were totally different views, you could tell they were good neighbors, they liked each other. And he ended up being one of the neighbors too, like he bought a home with me, loves Vancouver, I check in with him all the time. He's a trail runner, he likes the outdoor nature, and the politics were part of that conversation. Like people are moving up to Vancouver to not get like into, some people will say like Kentucky, like it's a little bit right wing. So it's something to be aware of, like that there is a pretty mixed political climate in Vancouver. Man, this is really the first thing that I told you that people don't tell you about is just the commute. We're in that commute. We're right at 5:45 on the dot. Literally that 90 degree on the watch. Commute's pretty wild. I don't do this every day, but obviously I'm out here showing you today what it's really like living in Vancouver. So I'm going to be in the trenches with you. That way you don't have to be. I like to give you the information. Subscribe if you've been enjoying this so far. We're going to get into the 9th thing that you should know. Stuff they're not telling you before moving to Vancouver, Washington. Don't want you to regret that move. So the 9th thing is just the overall safety and the schools. And this is honestly, if you ask me, this is a bigger reason than any of the ones before, including taxes. I know that's going to be controversial, but the people that move up to Vancouver cite the high ranking in safety. Camas is like the 5th safest city in all of Washington state, where we just were. Huge on that ranking. And then the schools, man, Camas schools specifically are A+, but you've got other great school systems like the Evergreen school systems that rank A. People really talk nicely about the Hawkinson school systems. So you got kids, you're moving over there. You know, the schools are a really great feature. Depending on which school district you're in, you're obviously going to want to pay attention to the zoning, making sure you're getting into the right boundaries. I work with people all the time that are moving up here that are specifically looking for a place specifically for their kids to get into a nice school. make sure that the safety is high up there. There's other like pockets like Salmon Creek that are high on safety. Philida is also amazing. Ridgefield has got its own little police force. New construction going up everywhere. The schools and safety are honestly one of the biggest reasons that people are flocking to Vancouver, Washington. Okay, so number 10 on our list, this is the 10th and final one. We were out there pounding the streets, 80 to 90 degree weather. Give a comment down below to thank Serenity, my daughter, for being an awesome videographer throughout this. We got to see that awesome campus community. The 10th one to really think about is just blending these all together and comparing them. Vancouver, more than anything, is a trade-off. Do you want the no state income taxes, property taxes that are comparable to the other great suburbs of Portland proper? Do you want the amazing safety ranking, the great schools, this close proximity to nature, tons of luxury new construction? But with that comes obviously like the price difference. You're starting to get a little bit less for what you pay for compared to places in Portland. And if you're not prepared for the cold weather up here, you're really going to want to do some research about the temperature swings, look into the charts, like what it gets into in the December time frame, and really make sure you're prepared from the clothing. Now, I did tell you to stay on top of the maintenance, and I'm going to be a man of my word. So we're going to go through a car wash. And as always, thanks for watching today's video. I really appreciate you staying to the end. Watch this video next, and I'll see you next week.